Hi everybody, Leah Shingleton. I am a homeschooling mother of 5 children. I've homeschooled for 15 years. And I was thinking about when I first started homeschool and how nervous I was. Even though it was something I chose, I was really, really nervous. And then I was thinking about all of the moms around the world and around the country that have their kids home all of a sudden and didn't choose to homeschool, and how nervous all of you must be. So I thought I might give a little bit of advice and just some ideas of fun things to do. I know that the schools have provided a lot of curriculum online, and that is wonderful. I also have heard friends and people saying that they're really, I feel like it's a bit much. The 6 hours of solid school and online is just really getting to them. So these are fun ideas that take 5 or 10 minutes to put together and last for anywhere from 20 minutes to maybe an hour, depending on how the kids are into it and how much they're exploring. But it gives them some kinesthetic, hands-on activities to do. So also, I always did what I personally call the smorgasbord. And what I did was get all of the history books and any picture books that I had, and I went to the library, which of course right now with Corona going on, you can't go to the library, but you do have the internet. And so I would just gather all these things, and the kids would sit there and look through the books, and they'd look at pictures, and Mom, what is this? And we would go back and forth for about, half an hour to 45 minutes. And they would just look at things that piqued their interest. Say we were going to study Egypt. They would look at things that piqued their interest about Egypt. After we were done with our smorgasbord, then I would sit down with a paper and pencil and write down ideas from the kids, because I'm very child-driven. I want the child to drive their own education. So I would sit down with them and to ask them things that they wanted to do. And so these are ideas. A few I came up with, mostly they were my kids, and I'd have to tweak them because some of them got a little crazy out of control, like they wanted to build an actual pyramid in the backyard, and we didn't have the resources or the time for that. But we did compromise and made a smaller pyramid. So this is the funnest one, and that's why I wanted to start with it. We actually mummified a chicken, and it was just awesome. We got salt and alum and Epsom salts, things like that. Put the chicken in. Of course, this did take time ahead of time, and also with COVID-19, I'm sure that you probably don't want to waste a chicken. But the alternative, we also mummified a Barbie. So that was kind of fun too. So I'll tell you about the chicken, then I'll tell you about the Barbie. We mummified the chicken, and we put, after it was done, it kind of looked like a piece of jerky. We ripped up a sheet, just a white sheet, and we wrapped up the chicken in the wrappings like a mummy, and we put little trinkets, little charms in, little beads and like an earring that had lost its mate, and just little things like that, and wrapped it up in the bandages, which it said that they actually did that, the Egyptians did. And we also did that with the Barbie. We wrapped little trinkets, and with the Barbie we actually sprayed it with a little bit of incense, not incense, like perfume, because they used to actually put incense into it. So that was a fun thing that really kind of cemented in my kids' minds, this actually seeing it done. We also named our chicken. He was King Cluck, I think the kids named him King Cluck, and his wife was Nefra Cheep Cheep. And the chicken was just one we got at the grocery store, had the little organs inside. We pulled those out, we put them in and mummified them as well. We put them in little baby food jars that we decorated with salt dough on top and made chaotic jars. The kids made grave goods to go along with King Cluck to the other side, little dishes, little toys and things that they had seen in Egyptian books. We also made him a sarcophagus. That was super fun. And we didn't do this all in one day. Of course, this was like a little here and a little there. And I think it really helped my kids to process it and let it sink in, because it was a little bit each day and a little bit more fun. So we made the sarcophagus, and we built a pyramid out of cardboard. It was only about this big, maybe, and it had, you know, a little door that came down. It was just triangles of cardboard that we had taped together or glued together. And then we put the sarcophagus inside, along with his grave goods. On the wall, I put up some butcher paper. You could even just do regular paper taped together. And they made like wall art that the Egyptians had, and, you know, like things like, so it's off to the side, you know, but then they're like walking, and chickens really lend themselves well to Egyptian wall art because their eyes are already on the side of their head. But, you know, you could also do it with the Barbies, and you could even let the Barbies trace the outline of the Barbies, however you wanted to do it. But it was really fun to have that. So we put down in the basement, we had the pyramid with King Clark inside and his grave goods, and we had the wall art, and then we sealed it all up, and I looked up hieroglyphics, and the kids drew out like a warning, like a mummy curse, and we put it on the door, locked it up. The next day, we got together and put on archaeological clothes, and we pretended to have an archaeological dig, and we made sure that we cataloged every single one of the different things that we had found and wrote them the way that archaeologists do. We even allowed our cousins to come and have a museum day where they came to see our archaeological find. That would be more difficult with COVID going on right now, but we definitely could, you know, you could do a video tour and share it with friends. So that was what we did for Egypt, and it was super, super fun. When we studied Greece, I was the Oracle of Delphi, and I got on a stool. I mean, I just had my jeans and t-shirt on, but I did get a white sheet, and I draped it over me and put my hair up in like a little bun with some jewelry hanging out of it. And I sat there, and I let them come in, and I had some kind of like, you know, what I thought was Greek music going on in the background. And that was really fun. The kids came in, and they could hear their own prophecy being read. And I made up some silly ones that could happen to anyone. And then afterwards we talked about, it was really a giggle fest, but we talked about how there was a fissure in the earth and fumes came up from the ground, and it actually did cause hallucinations. I can't remember what gas was coming up from the ground. It was a natural gas, but it caused hallucinations, and that's why they always had to fast before they could go in, the oracles. And their things were very cryptic. So one example was, one man was told that his death would be because of water. So he moved into the desert to get as far away from water as possible, and then he died of thirst. And so the oracle could say, well, you see, I was right. So we did that. Another thing we did for studying Greece was that we did the Olympics. We did wear our swimming suits, so it wasn't authentic the way the Greeks did it. But we had javelin throw with, I think I took the broomstick off, you know, the part you sweep with, and we threw javelins. We threw, for discus, we just did a frisbee. We had a ball for shot put. We did some wrestling. We had foot races, and it was just the Olympics. I think we even twisted together some leaves off the tree and made wreaths for the champions. That was really, really, really fun. We also talked about democracy and showing them that was kind of that first step forward in people trying to rule themselves and not have a king. We also talked about some of the flaws of democracy and the fact that democracy, I can't remember, it was Benjamin Franklin or Thomas Jefferson, but one of them said that democracy is 3 wolves and a lamb voting on what's for dinner. So we did talk about some of the flaws that democracy had and how what we really need is a constitutional democratic republic. So that was fun. We made puppets. It just drew them really simple little faces, and it was just a piece of paper, glued it to the back of a popsicle stick or a straw, and then we could pretend to let the people vote and here you're a farmer and things like that. I hope that was helpful. If I think of some more, I will be posting some more things that might be fun, quick, easy to put together to break up the monotony of school at home with a computer. Thanks, bye.